what's up, everybody? Welcome to Comic Book Club. I'm Alex.
I'm Justin.
I'm Pete.
And we have got your audience questions.
Yes,
today.
we do.
Yes,
Yours.
Yeah, you
They're
guys,
ours now.
We're drinking beer again.
Yes.
Yeah, we are.
It's very
My
exciting.
influence.
Really, you guys sent in your questions at twitter.com/comicbooklive. Thank you for doing that. I'm sorry if we can't get to everybody's, but we will try to. So let's get right into it. CHVNX asks, what are your thoughts on the upcoming Lobo film and its PG-13 rating?
What? PG-13?
Why are you reading?
Are you kidding me?
Pay attention. Don't be...
That sucks. That's crappy.
I have to admit, though, that was a pretty good take there.
I know.
That's
It was a good take.
Yeah, it's very crappy. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I know I'll probably be flamed for this. I could care less about Lobo as a character.
I agree.
Warmed over a
Screw you guys.
I know. I just like. Just rewatch Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider, and you're basically.
No,
can I
no, that is a ridiculous statement.
Get your finger on my face.
What are you going to do about it?
Pete.
Oh, shit.
You want to know how
Come on,
to? You want to know how to ruin a Lobo movie? Make a Lobo movie. That's it.
And then make it PG-13.
Yeah, there you go. Brian Haggerty asks, we're going to get into it now. Do you find it odd how DC made their big announcement the week after Marvel, or is it coincidence? I mean, do you think DC sped up their plans that were already in progress to keep up the general momentum before it died down? What do you guys think about that?
I think they definitely made that announcement on the heels of the Disney announcement. But that announcement comes on the heels of Marvel making a move into making their movies happen. Marvel, with their big move on making Iron Man from their own studio, that's what DC has been. That's what DC's announcement is about.
What's the DC announcement?
The consolidation of DC with, it's basically elevating DC into a major Warner Brothers kind of company.
Yeah, it's essentially... The thing that I think is most interesting about the DC announcement is all of the things where people said, oh no, we're so worried about Marvel with Disney, when Marvel has over and over said, look, we're basically just going to be Marvel. The fears that they had are realized with DC and Warner Brothers at this point.
Yeah.
You know, whether those fears are warranted or not. At this point, DC has been restructured so it is part of the Warner Brothers corporate entity. We'll only see in the long run whether that is actually good or bad for the comics.
I mean, it could be better, where there's more, structure or something to the line. Yeah. But I gotta say, it just looks shitty for DC.
It looks shitty for DC. Valerie Durazio, who does occasional superhero online, had a great post up, which was sort of the battle plan. It was a made-up battle plan for the new head of DC, the new president of DC. And she was absolutely right at her points, being like, so you're building this whole event around a Silver Age character that nobody's ever heard of. You really think that's a good idea? I'm not saying. I just want you to explain that to me.
Yeah.
And various things like that. And I feel like DC has been doing a lot of that are insular rather than, I don't know, what's the opposite of that? Exular?
Yeah, I mean, probably not.
Anyway.
I just want to say that I feel like, they are in direct competition with each other constantly, so I don't know if it would... You just, it's like every time Marvel does something that gets a lot of heat, it's expected that DC's going to do, and vice versa. So I feel like it's just kind of they're both trying to get,
If it gets more DC characters into television and film, then I think it's...
There you go. Yeah. Crackshot asks, has a comic book ever made you cry, and what comic?
Ooh.
Targeted.
I'm gonna need a moment. Yes, there was one that got me.
Say it.
I'm trying to think. It was on the subway, and I was so pissed at myself for crying.
Model Sync #1.
Yeah.
Screw you! You fucking made me read that thing. That was horrible.
Real angry. Real angry.
I mean, New Mutants' last issue of Fall of the Mutants when Cypher died.
Really? Well, you were a baby then.
Can't you guys remember what it was? You made fun of me forever. I was like, I got choked up.
I remember making fun of you. I don't remember what it was.
Oh, man.
The details escape me.
Yeah.
I cry all the time in comic books. I'm an emotional...
Big shocker.
I'm an emotional...
Captain Testosterone.
All-Star Superman #10. And actually, a lot of All-Star Superman certainly made me cry. Just the moments with Lois and Superman in particular were really heartbreaking and wonderful at the same time.
Yes, some of the, Starman. It's the ones that are closest to your heart.
And you know what? Actually, another book in a different way that made me cry was Superman for All Seasons.
Oh, that's your favorite.
It's my favorite. And the art, in particular, that I remember...
Art made you cry?
It really did. Oh, some of the pages were so beautiful, it brought a tear to my eye.
Stuff by Jason has made me cry a little bit.
All right, let's move on.
I could keep talking.
Yeah, we all know you can keep talking.
Sure.
I can keep crying.
Marvel Smart Ass, asks, what was your conversion comic? The first issue you remember buying and being hooked?
On comics in general?
Or Marvel comics?
Comics in general.
The first issue I got in my stocking on Christmas Day. It was an Atlantis Wars issue of Avengers back in the early 90s. I was like, oh man, and there was some like mini sub action. I don't know. I read that and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna read this until I'm dealing with two other assholes on the couch.
Yeah. I actually have two ridiculous things that got me totally hooked on comics. But my father had these collections of comics that I read over and over and over when I was little. One of them was Little Lebo and Slumberland that he had. He collected works. Wow. And it's so amazing. And the other one was he had a collection of Superman that had, I think, 3 or 4 issues from every decade of Superman. And I must have read that probably like 30 times when I was little. That completely hooked me. Pete, what about you?
Well, for me, it was a Spider-Man issue. I just remember it was totally 80s out.
Was it One More Day?
That's not funny. But it was just
one issue web with Spider-Man that hooked me, right? And I got in the same Christmas Day package. It was right after he became Captain Marvel. He was flying up into space, faced off against the Brothers Grimm. Hooked me. Wow. He hooked on an airplane.
But the first time that I ever got to buy my own comic, when I discovered comic book stores, was like the greatest day ever. I walked into the comic book store and I had like $3 my mom gave me, and I spent like an hour and a half going through all the comics because I wanted to get the best one, and I settled on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I own every single issue of the Eastman and Laird.
That's a good answer. All right, we're going to wrap it up with one more question. This is from David Gallagher, who's actually the writer of the awesome webcomic High Moon on Zuda, which is actually having a hardcover coming out soon from Zuda, which is amazing.
Congrats, dude.
Definitely pick that up. He asks, who is the ugliest character in comics? I think that's an easy one. I'm going to say Lobo.
I knew you were going to say
Really?
No, I mean Maggot.
Maggot is not ugly.
He's gross.
He has a problem with the words.
Who would you guys say is the ugliest character in comics?
Mojo? Or what's it?
Because he's so fat.
Yeah. Well, he's...
I don't know. The first one that jumped into my head, maybe because he was all over several Batman books this week, is Clayface. If he's done well when he's dripping, all that, I'm...
Deathpool's very ugly, too.
No, but he's got some witty comments.
But he's got a heart of gold.
Yeah. He does.
Like hookers.
Yeah. Cool. If you guys have a question for us, you can write us at comicbookclublive@gmail.com.
I'd say Dazzler's the ugliest.
Alright, let's not make this worse.
Twitter.com/comicbooklive. Popcultureshock.com.
That's for the one more day comment.
iTunes, Comic Book Club Live, where you can download these very episodes of Pete.
Tuesdays, New York City, 8 o'clock, People's Improv Theater, our live show. It's a lot of fun.
I mean, Moonstone's beautiful on the outside. On the inside. Think about that, people. See you in the sleeves tonight.
You just blew their mind.